Hello everyone, today we are going to talk about this novel called Second Place, which is written by Rachel Cusk. Now, Rachel Cusk is a very renowned author, highly critically acclaimed, and she is known for a trilogy of books that she wrote, which is called the Outline Trilogy. I have not read those books, they're lined up now because I'm curious to know what they are like. But I straight away dived into this book called The Second Place. Now, The Second Place I talked about in the earlier video, which I posted a few weeks back. I had talked about the 5 books that I selected from the Booker long list that was announced a few weeks back, and this book was one of them. Now, a quick word for what the book is about. It's written by this narrator, which is referred to as M throughout the book. We don't know the complete name. And she had once seen the works of an artist, and she was so moved by those paintings that she wanted to know more about the artist, wanted to spend some time with the artist, and in turn get some clarity about her problems and thoughts about life. This character, along with another character, run this place called Second Place, which is kind of a residency thing for artists from various backgrounds, and they come there and they spend time there and they work on their projects. And that's where this character called M invites this one artist whose work she was highly impressed with. And after some time, that artist does arrive at the Second Place, but things doesn't go the way she had thought they would, and they somehow develop a very bad equation, and then that's how the story unfolds, and that's what the book is all about. Now, I loved the way the book opened. I'll share the first page and I'll show you the things that I highlighted and the kind of notes that I made. And I was probably expecting the narrative to go somewhere else, but as I read on, it started going somewhere else, and I did struggle for a while to actually grasp what was being told, and it actually took a while for those things to grow on me in order to carry on reading that book. The book has a very basic idea that is like the bedrock of the book. So it talks about it, and it starts probably from the very beginning, and it very clearly comes to an end towards the end as well. So that one basic thing runs throughout the book. But apart from that, there is quite some commentary which is very layered, and the text does make you wonder so many times, and it does throw a lot of thoughts and questions at you, which if you actually immerse in the text, you will actually start enjoying them. The narrator of the book is a very negative person, and she is very convinced, almost very convinced, that everyone around her is absolute evil and there is nothing good in anyone around her. So that started to, and it's written so well. It's been this whole character is portrayed so well that it actually gets to you. So when I started reading this book, it did take me a while to understand this is a character speaking and not the direct ideas of an author, and that's when I actually started to enjoy the book. Otherwise, the negativity comes out so strong, it springs so strongly off the pages that some people might find it off-putting. Also, when you read the narrative, you also feel that what happened to this character because of which she is so bitter, and why is she the way she is. There are some clues thrown here and there. So if you carefully read the text, looking out for those clues, you will actually find them. At times, they won't be directly stated that, it was the mother or the father or the ex-husband or whatsoever, but you will still have clues for why she has become the kind of negative person that she is, because she keeps saying again and again that she has been criticized so much all over her life, and that's why she thinks that's the only way of her being. And when no one criticizes her, she starts to feel that she doesn't exist and she can't see herself. She becomes invisible for her own self. The book is kind of a journey into her mind and her thoughts, and by the end of it, she is actually forcefully made to understand that why are things the way they are for her, and how she needs to start looking at her own life. There is quite a commentary about art, artists, the artist's interpretation of art, the people's interpretation of art, and I think those were my favorite bits from the book. The book also has its ways of bringing back a lot of personal memories that you might have. Some of the good memories about some of the relationships that you've had, and some of the bad memories about some of the relationships you have. And they all come really very strongly. So the book is actually written quite well from that point of view. The text of the novel also very firmly imposes the idea of the binary character of the world that we live in terms of gender and sex, and I did definitely find it very off-putting. I did go online, look at a few reviews, and I saw how people have received this idea. Some of them have received it very negatively, and some of them have lapped it and they've had their own interpretations. I somehow did not like it that much. But then also I thought that, if you don't agree with something, and if you want people to understand that this is not how it's supposed to be, then maybe you start pushing that idea in your art, in your work, and then when people see it, and then probably they'll understand that, okay, this is something which should not be the way they think, and maybe then they will start breaking away from those ideas. Probably, I'm hoping that Rachel also believes in that, because that strong divide in the world that she has created, it's kind of very imposing, and I don't think that's the kind of world that we would want. Although I must mention that I did go through a few interviews by the author, and she does seem to have a very different and radical view about the whole thing. So maybe I'm not understanding it the way she wants people to understand, but maybe in the future sometime I will. The book is titled The Second Place, and although the notion of the second place is very clearly explained in the book as well, there is a part in which the two main characters talk about what the idea of second place means for them. But I think at the same time, each reader is also going to come up with his own interpretation of the idea of a second place as well. Not mentioned, but it's very obvious. The second place is also referred to the place that women get no matter where they go and what they do. So that's definitely one meaning that the author tries to push. And then it's like the second place, the second home, where you can drop the worries, drop the issues that you have, and then you can just stay and be happy there. And it's the second place where an artist comes to get their inspiration and go ahead to produce their art. So all of these different ideas of second place are very prominent in the text, and I think different readers are going to pick it up differently. There was this one bit, there's a lot which I don't agree with in this book. It's kind of like, women are looked upon and given a second place because the male artist generally comes and looks at females for inspirations and looks upon them at the muses, and that's why they're also thought of to be in the second place. I think it's I don't know, it's an idea which I felt a little unsettled with. I don't agree with that, but anyway, but all said and done, this book definitely makes you think a lot. Even if you don't enjoy it, even if you don't agree with it, it definitely makes you think. Will this book make it to the shortlist? I'm not sure. Although there were a lot of parts which I did enjoy, and the books I read, I can easily tell how much I enjoyed them by the number of tags that I put in, by the number of notes that I make inside the book. This book did give me a lot to think and ponder, but I have a feeling the other books on the long list might be stronger, and this book may not make it to the shortlist. I may be wrong. Let's see. The shortlist is gonna be out in a few weeks, so we'll get to know. Also, is this a book which is a high recommendation from my side? Well, not for everyone. I definitely think some people will enjoy it, and I know of some people who picked it up and who did not enjoy it. So this is one book I think before picking it up, you should go through a lot of reviews online, and there were a few good reviews by some booktubers as well, which I did go through after reading the book. So after getting to know enough about the book, I think then only you should decide whether you want to dive in the book or not. It's not a thick book. It's hardly 200 pages. So and I did not find this book difficult to go through. Like for me, it was quite an easy read. I was able to finish it by giving some very short sittings for like probably not even a week. So if you have time, if you're curious, pick it up and give it a try. Also, quickly, I would like to mention that my new book, The Part I Left With You, is out and available everywhere. Do give it a look. If you like the videos that I make, if you like the way I talk about books, I have a feeling you will like this book. And in case you happen to pick it up and read it, I will love to know how you liked it. All right, guys, that's all for today. And also, I think I started reading Dune because the film is going to be out soon and I wanted to read the book before the film came out. So hopefully I'll finish that book soon, and maybe the next video will be about Dune. Also, I hope you're enjoying the other videos that I'm putting up. I've started putting these flip throughs of some of the books that I have. Some of them I have read and some of them I just have because they're just plain so gorgeous. And if you've seen them, let me know what you think. And if you have read this book, I really want to have a discussion about this book with someone. And if you've not read this book, want to read this book, I would love to have your thoughts on this as well. Okay, guys, until next time, stay healthy, keep reading. Cheers.